Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Rockin the Love. We are so excited to be here with you. He's Gil Olmsted.
And she's Robyn Rice Olmsted.
That's good.
And we're here together.
And he was trying to multitask, so I thought it would throw him off. And I did. A mission accomplished. We are a married couple. And we're usually very kind to each other.
Except when we're not.
But here we are today, and we're going to try to be kind today. So we are married couple living apart in two different parts of the United States. I am in Southern California.
And I am not in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm in Southern California, too, at the moment.
That's right, because he came to celebrate our anniversary last week. So we are together for the last time in who knows how long.
Oh, I thought it was the first time. Come on.
It's always the first time, right?
Yes. Well, she does take me to the airport tomorrow. So there you go.
All right. So I'm sure that was TMI, but there it is anyway. So we are so excited to be here today. And we have a fabulosa. Sorry, I was multilingual. We have a fabulous guest. Miss Georgia Davis that we'll bring on in a little bit. But first, we're going to remind you that if you're out there and you haven't clicked on to like us, please like us.
Yeah.
It makes us so much happier.
We like to be liked.
We do. Hi, Shay. Good to see you. And so welcome, Shay. Welcome anyone out there. Bienvenidos. Wherever you are in the world, check in. Let us know where you're calling from. And I was thinking about this question this morning that we always actually ask each other, how was your week? Because we're apart. So usually there's something the other one doesn't know or something that's happened. But when we're together and I say, how was your week? I was like, I can't even track my week when we're together. Mm-hmm. It's like it's all a blur. Are you like that?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I can say that we went to a spiritual center on Sunday that I hadn't been to before because it's here in San Diego. And then on Monday, we went to see an endodontist so Robyn could get a root canal. So it's been a fun week, And that was, of course, after we celebrated our anniversary and we had a friend over on Saturday and we celebrated our sister's birthday. And so, it's been a eventful week considering it seems like we didn't have to do anything, but we did.
Isn't that funny? And the way my brain tracks it, I track it like we're not doing anything because it's all that other stuff going on.
I heard you're moving in together. Oh no, we did that years ago.
No, you're referring to the new house because we talked about getting a new house, which is exciting, but that's our new house in New Mexico. I'm not moving there yet. Still a little bit more time, but I'll be able to be there more often. And when I am, I don't have to be in the same room with him because there's more rooms.
And you'll have more stuff. So how much fun is that?
I'll have more stuff and we'll have a recording office and a other office and a guest room and all those good things. So many possibilities. But not back together.
Well, not on an everyday basis, but just as often as we can. So, how was your week?
That was my week.
Oh,
it was good. I mean, it's been a good week. It's just always short. I just, it's hard to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And I get sad like a day and a half. A day and a half early. Hola, Myrna. Bienvenido. She's very excited that we're in the same room right now. I know. Those of you that are regular watchers, it's like you've had a good run at seeing us in the same camera box. It's been like 6 weeks practically. I think we had one in between. No, it's been like 5 weeks.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a lot.
So, yeah. So it's been a good week. It's, the weather is good here in San Diego area. It's sunny. It's nice. We've been able to sit outside and, it's like, it's sometimes, don't you ever feel like do you ever feel like your life is like a movie? Like, I'm sitting outside and the birds are chirping and the dog is rolling in the grass and, the hummingbirds over at the feeder and all those things. And I'm like, huh, yeah, that's the way life's supposed to be. And then a teenager comes home from school and the illusion is shattered. But anyway, it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah.
So, do you have some good news?
Well, I do. I have some good news. This, by the way, folks, is where we just talk about what's good happening in the world. And I found something quite interesting. And it sort of hits on a couple of things. But first of all, apparently, there is a company now that is making asphalt out of carbon. And they're doing this by taking natural gas, converting it to hydrogen by taking the carbon out, and they're using that to create the asphalt. So they're creating a non-carbon creating energy source from the natural gas while creating a way to take the carbon and hold it so it doesn't escape into the atmosphere. And do something useful like fix our roads.
That's kind of crazy though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
But that's amazing. I mean, that would be a huge shift in atmospheric whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal. I know I'm looking down. Hold on. Okay. I just wanted to remember who I was talking about. That actually Bill Gates is a huge investor in this as well. So there you go.
That's
I thought
great.
that was an interesting part of the story.
He's pretty ecological. I mean, he's pretty ecological minded. It appears.
It appears.
And that's good. I mean, if you can support good causes, that's fantastic. I think that's fantastic. All right. Well, my good news story. Okay. So have you ever had like people in your life, like teachers, bosses, family members, whatever, go, when you grow up, I'll blah, blah, blah. And they promise something.
Yeah, they still have to pull up the natural gas. However, natural gas is often something or other.
Michael. Okay.
Don't let me talk.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to go back. This is live. So you can pause while I'm in the middle of a story and pay attention to me. Shay's comment will be there. We're going to have a fight about you, Shay.
You were paused.
I'm going to pause you. All right. So I'm going to ask the people out there. Oh, John, we may as well do John's comment while we're on it. There you go.
John has natural gas. See how easy that is, Shay? We just produce it ourselves. All right.
Okay. Right now, the good news story for me is that there's only about 40 more minutes left here. All right. So my good news story. So you've had like teachers or people promise things like that, right? Where that, when you get married or when blah, 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 we'll do this. Well, this teacher in, I don't remember where he is, but he promised his class back in 1978, he promised his class that when the solar eclipse happened where they were going to be, that they would have a party and get together. So this obviously was a long time ago. And he not only told his class in 1978, but see, in 1978, they did the research and found when the eclipse was going to be passing over their area.
Their town, yeah. Sorry, I was just chiming in, checking.
And so every class after that, he promised the same thing. And he did it. So he told them that he would take out an ad in the newspaper when it happened. And he realized, obviously, this last year or whatever, that people aren't reading newspapers. So he started a Facebook group and he got in charge with in contact with all of his former students, and they started, connecting with each other to tell each other when the thing was going to be. And he bought 130 pairs of eclipse glasses, and he hired a local pizzeria to deliver pizzas, and the people showed up, and with 45 years of life experience to share along with that. And one person said, they made all kinds of jokes. That he said, one person said, "You seem taller," and the other person said, "This has got to be the longest homework assignment ever." But I thought it was so great that he made good on his promise, and to see all those people, all different ages, it was just great. So I think that's what's being, first of all, what being a teacher is about, and being in integrity with your word and really making it happen. I just think that's really sweet. That's my good news story.
And so it is good news.
And so it is. So just remember that, people, when you're promising things to kids out there to come, you got to come through on it. So good to see you all here. Yay. So we're going to take a break, and
did we tell them what we're talking about today?
Okay, go ahead.
Did we tell them yet? I'm asking.
Well, it doesn't matter. Just tell them if you're going to tell me. You've been here the whole time. Why do you need to ask?
So, what we're going to talk about today is doing what you love. So, just thought I'd throw that out there so you knew that before the break. You can kind of mull that over. That's our topic, and we have our special guest will be with us, and we're looking forward to that. And so we will be back right here on New Thought Media Network.
Please help us say thank you to our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Om Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. Thank you for being part of the New Thought Media Network. Please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring. New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network, positively inspiring.
we are back. We are back in action. I'm Robyn Rice Olmsted.
And I am Gil William Olmsted.
Oh, he put on glasses.
Well, I wanted the job. You're 42% more likely to get a job if you have glasses at the interview.
Ah, all right. All right, so let's talk about our guest.
So we're excited today. As we said, we're going to talk about doing what you love, and it's inspired by our guest, Georgia Davis, who is a practitioner. There she is. She's a practitioner with Centers for Spiritual Living. She's all but a minister with Centers for Spiritual Living, and she loves to sing, and she does some incredible bodywork stuff, and we love her.
She's an amazing singer and an amazing body worker.
And she's obviously traveling.
Thank you so much. No, I'm speaking live from the Vallejo Senior Center in Vallejo, California.
Okay.
What I do right now is care for my mom, and that is definitely a labor of love. So we come to the Senior Center. It's a very active, couple of people and have a good time. And the people are very friendly and they love to have a good time too. But thank you for the warm welcome. It is a mutual love I have for both of you as well. Don't let everybody know that I'm a body worker though.
Okay, we don't want them to know that. Scratch
Next
that.
thing I know, my one regular client is the wonderful Melissa Felipe. So, and sometimes the Egloff. So, otherwise I'm more of a if I feel like doing it, like when I first met you two, then I feel like doing it, and it's just my gift of love in action.
All right.
So,
and a fine gift it is. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Honored. I really do, because it was amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But I know you bring that into everything you do.
That's my ministry, being the love I want to see in the world, and start with me. So
let's just breathe that in, everyone. Start with yourself to be the love in the world
that you want to see.
All right. Thank you for joining us today. What more can we say, right? So that is easier said than done, though, sometimes.
And that's what I was going to say. I find love is an active thing, just like knowing our divinity. Do we know our divinity 100% of the time? Maybe some people. But we're in this human existence,
we know it intellectually.
Right.
We know it in our heart, in our bodies, in our actions. Yeah. In
our experience, right? Just like love. I mean, we can love someone, we can hold that love for them, and maybe that's not always the 100% of the time experience of that person or that thing or that job or that task or the service. And that's how I feel, is that I leave that open to the flow, because sometimes it's more of a challenge to love, and sometimes it's that easy flow, overflowing, crying with just all the emotions of everything. And sometimes it's like, how do I forgive? How do I show up as love in this moment? And I feel that is in everything that I do, because that's my definition of love is, well, other than spirit, right? It's all interactive, but that it's knowing and experiencing the gift that someone or something is in my life without anything being added or subtracted. That is being in that love. Did you want me to keep talking? Do you have questions or comments?
No, we were just enjoying it.
Okay.
I was thinking about, what, I mean, in like some of the things that you've done and that you do, how do you how do you give yourself the permission? How do you allow yourself to move into, what's it like, to do things that support you in feeling that love in your life, of really enjoying life?
That's where the loving myself first comes. The loving myself first comes with knowing how to love myself in a moment, how to love myself in a situation, how to love myself in a relationship. And that's our deep inner work. And it is moment by moment. What do I need now? What do I speak now? How do I connect with spirit now? How do I be in this physical existence now? Because otherwise, those times when we're on autopilot, we're not in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not in our experience of love. And so that's what I do. I try to take a breath. I try to be with the person that's in front of me. I try to let go of the chatter, honor them as the divine. And specifically, because I've worked some county level government jobs, and accounting and office work. And, you don't go through this transformation of becoming in service and ministry and not change. So people get it, they get the gift I'm giving wherever I show up. I mean, I said, it's the funniest thing. I realized everywhere I go, I work there. Have you ever had that experience?
Uh-huh.
Everyone thinks I work at that place. They ask me for directions and help. And because I'm living a life of service.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And at first I got resentful, and I was like, why do I work everywhere I go? I'm like, oh, ministry never stops.
That's a great realization. That's a great realization.
Well, that's a great realization for everybody in some way, right?
Yeah.
That wherever we are, there we are.
Well, that's the concept of being a practitioner, of being in ministry, of living your spiritual life, whatever path you're on, but living your spiritual life is that you realize that if I'm committed to that, then it's going to show up everywhere I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It can't help but do that. Right.
So that happens when I'm in service with my mom. And it happens, I'm listening to where Spirit's calling me. When I worked at mental health for the county, a nearby county, and I listened to everything I've brought forward with me through this journey, because I worked for alcohol and drug services, and I've come through 17 years, the same amount of time I found Science of Mind. I think it's been 17 years. I found my path in Al-Anon for friends and family of alcoholics. And so everything I've learned in service to that organization, and as much as I could in a stealthy way in our organization, I brought with me to dealing with our clients in every interaction and in every part of working with the staff and in the public. And it's people who are in those challenging times in life, when they need mental health help, when they need alcohol and drug help. Everyone that they come in contact with is so important. Like kids, everyone that they come in contact with is an opportunity to be the inspiration or what would be, I can't even think of what the other side of the, degradation, I guess, of someone's spirit.
Yeah.
And so, but we're always like that, right? I mean,
well, and what I'm hearing you say, and thinking about what you're saying, and this idea of doing what you love, that it really comes down to loving what we do, in a way. As you said, what's in front of you, and because if we're doing what we love, we're showing up as this person in service, as this person who wants to see the world transformed by the power of love. And as we do that, then every situation we find, where can we love in this situation? Is that kind of something you would agree with?
I would, and I would say, and to know when that isn't for you. When it isn't our work, I know. I have no makeup. We've been doing Qigong class. I love you guys, so I'm being on camera anyway. And just being real. I love showing up real at my center.
I want to go back to what you just said, because as you all were talking, I was thinking, I was still back on being in service everywhere, because I feel like that's my life. And and sometimes I feel like, because it's my life, I don't get to my stuff because I'm so busy being of service to everyone else, and so busy doing, what, somebody else can't do. And I go, yeah, okay, I can do it. Even though, I don't have time and but I know that it'll take me half the time that it'll take that. So yeah, like it's like you almost have to break up with, I don't know. How do you get past that is the better question.
Well, I'll say that's where Al-Anon has helped me too, is learning when is serving others serving me, or when is it taking away as someone else. Oh my gosh, just recently thinking about romantic relationship, like when we call someone into our lives and they're taking away more than they're giving, we're creating an imbalance.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's a part of, reciprocity, is that when we're giving, we should be receiving as well. Oh, wow. I've just, decided should is a make wrong. So when I declared that recently. So when we're giving and receiving, that is the most win-win-win, win for me, win for you, win for all. And that is a delicate balance too. So yeah, saying no to things that, even if it's really knowing what is ours, right? Like, I'll say, for example, I'm a person who's worked with funding for homeless people, for unhoused people, helping unhoused people, working a little bit on the fringe with unhoused people. I myself have a commitment that I don't usually give unhoused people or people who are asking for money cash. I usually give them something. I'll ask them if they want, gas, I'll fill up their tank. If they want food, I'll give them food. If they need water, a ride, sometimes. But that is the way that I feel comfortably called to participate in helping someone in those situations. Because that aligns with me. And like I just said, I don't want to support someone in drinking or doing drugs. So it's knowing those definitions of when it's help and when it's not, like someone on the side of the road. I'll tell you, when I see somebody walking on the side of the road, I just want to give them a ride. And I have to be careful about when that's safe for me or not, and really check in. My mom and I just had something happen. It was raining terribly. We see this woman kind of out in the middle of nowhere walking with bags of groceries. And I had my van, and I said, I just really want to go back and see if she needs a ride. And we went back, and it's pouring. And I said, I can give you a ride if you need a ride. My van isn't scary. I have a bed in the back because it's a camper van. You can't really see it. And she goes, no, thank you. And we leave, and we look back, and she was gone. I think she went under a little overpass because she was disappeared. But, like,
but what did you, what kind of love did you spread in that moment by going back and just offering?
Just offering, just being willing. And doing what my heart was saying, you need to go at least offer, because it was pouring rain. And I don't know about you, but I've had those moments where I think, I need to go help. I need to go help. And if I don't satisfy that in my heart, it sticks with me.
Yeah.
And that's,
He has those moments all the time. He does. No, I think it's very admirable and all of that. Yeah, she was an angel in disguise.
thank you.
Yeah.
But I think it's really admirable. I mean, I do. I think it's great. But you know what I was realizing too when I, asked that question, that I'm not necessarily not being of service if I say no.
Wow, that's a lot of not to negative. So you mean you can still be in service when you say no, is what you're saying?
Saying no can be of service.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only a growing experience for me, but for the other person.
Yes, thank you. That is that's really important to hear and say. And yes, because doing for others what they need to figure out sometimes is the journey.
Oh, you went sideways.
Sorry. Of course, someone called me, and I'm like, do I put myself on airplane mode? I don't think I can do this.
Don't want to do that.
Sorry. Right. Thank you for highlighting that, because being in service isn't always saying yes.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, doing what you love requires saying no sometimes to things that you like or things that you can do or, things that you're good at even, because it's not serving what you love. And when we're pouring our love into it, then it's serving in a whole different level than when we're just getting it done, then we're just doing it because we can, or because someone asked, or, because it's good. Let's do it,
You make me think of, I'm trying to remember the Reverend. Oh, he spoke at one of the conferences, the online conferences, and offered a free counseling session afterwards. And I spoke with him. Oh, he was one of my teachers too. I'm so embarrassed I can't remember his name. And we talked about that. He said, when you say, you're always saying no to something else when you say yes to something. So to understand if you're really saying yes to the thing that you want to say yes to, because there's always a no. And if it's hard saying no, you're still saying no to something.
Even if you don't say it.
Right.
Yeah. And Myrna says, I think saying no could be the hardest choice, because in my experience, being of service to others can be kind of addictive. Oh my God. Oh my
Totally.
God. Don't we know it, right?
And distracting. Yeah. Well, that's what Robyn was just saying. Yeah, it's easier. Sometimes I don't get my stuff done because I'm taking care of everybody else's stuff.
Right.
Well, and that's one of the things, you know how you repeat the same things over and over. Gil and I are doing this, starting this 21-day cleanse in the Debbie Ford book. I don't know if you've seen it, but explain it a little.
It's a 21-day consciousness cleanse, and we're actually doing it with the center, and I'm going to do a short little class along the time that we're doing it. But it just talks about, taking time for yourself, setting aside time for yourself to do the processes and be with it, and not spending the time answering your email at all hours of the day and night, and not, those kinds of things.
And what I was going to say about that was, he was reading to me from the, introduction and the important setup rules kind of thing. And as I was listening, I mean, come on, we've all done 999,000 spiritual courses, educational courses, all of those things. And we hear the same rules over and over and over. I mean, and I've artist weighed for the last 30 years or whatever, I mean, so, but I was listening to the instructions, which are the same as everywhere else. And I was like, all right, what if I could really hear them this time? What if I could really do that? What if I could really go, where she's like, pick the one thing, write down all your passions, pick the one thing you want to accomplish in these 21 days. And I was like, all right, what if I really did that and I put everything else at bay? Like not necessarily on hold even, but just with more parameters around it, and I mean, that was a big question. That was a big realization, like like, you know what I mean? I feel like I heard it in a different way in order to be able to put it into play, because I'm sure everyone here listening and some of them I know out there, I know that they have a challenge putting themselves first. There's no mistake that we're here together because we've been on the same teams doing the same things, So I mean, I know this is our tribe, but like, when do we make that shift? And there's a question out there: Georgia, how do you take care of you?
There are certain things that I do, like I go to my Al-Anon meeting. That's time. And my mom, like I said, I'm caring for my mom, not quite 24/7, but pretty close. So my partner, Jim, he's an amazing man. He helps out my siblings. I ask for help. And I keep asking. Let's see. Sorry, I'm so distracted because Robyn said that about taking care of ourselves, and it's like I need to color my hair, and it's bothering me. So, but
I think what you just said, that you ask and you keep asking. I mean, that's a big point.
Making commitments that fill my cup. Which sounds weird, but I'll tell you, I went to our practitioner meeting at the Napa Valley Center for Spiritual Living yesterday, which I've had a hard time getting to. And that really filled my cup. Being with other practitioners, praying for each other, being real with each other. That's what I mean about making commitments. Here's my trick because of codependency. If I make a commitment to somebody else that fills my cup, I'll keep it, And I mean, that's because I'm fighting codependency all the time and figuring out how to move with it so that it serves me. So that's one of my tricks, is that I make a commitment to someone else that fills my cup and I'll keep it. So that actually engages the help of others, whether they know it or not, because we aren't alone, right? And it is a way to ask for help, because that, like I said, is the reciprocity of giving and receiving. And sometimes it's this very interesting dance, That's why I just did a class, and we did selfless service, because the best kind of selfless service feeds us too.
Right.
Because when it doesn't feed you, that's a real opportunity for martyrdom and resentment, things like that. So.
And we don't want to take advantage of that.
What?
And we don't want to take advantage of that option.
Oh, being selfish.
Of the martyrdom.
Oh my gosh. There's no cross in Science of Mind. Not really. So no, we don't get to get up there.
Yeah.
You can sit in the heart and our Science of Mind symbol, but sorry.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I mean, I know it's changing for men, but I think for women, we're taught that, the more you do for others, the more valuable you are. And when we're giving from an empty place, it's not fun. It's not fun for anybody.
Mm-mm.
It's really, it can be very painful, uncomfortable, traumatizing, all those kinds of things if people don't take care of themselves. Sorry, and I veered away from my answer. So that's what I do is I try to find ways, things, even moments. I think, I can't remember which one of you was saying, like having boundaries, not opening emails before a certain time, especially because I'm creating my own time, not opening emails after a certain time. And that includes my family because we're all the support network for my mom. So taking a break for myself, and letting other people be of service to my mom too, even in my presence, so that I'm not constantly the one in attendance. And what else? Yeah, it's I think really asking for help and letting people help is a big part of it.
Yeah, and what struck me when you said that was, it's not only about letting people help, but it's about acknowledging that it's okay for me to step away. I mean, I don't have to do this in order for it to be perfect or to be whatever the thing is that I think it needs to be. Because in your case, like with your mom, I'm guessing, you're holding the space for that already, and so anytime someone else can step into that space and take that on for a period of time, what an opportunity,
It's like the village raising the child,
Yeah.
It's about letting the, communities, creating community, letting community form, and letting community participate, because people want to help, and letting go of the control, like, oh, I have to be the one to do it. It has to be done this way. And I really do feel personally that this is a part of my growing into ministry, because ministry is so much of, there will be a lot of work to do, a lot of support to give, and I don't have to be the person to do all of it.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. After you.
I was sort of changing the topic because I was thinking all that you're saying, I think it goes back to what we titled the show, which was doing what you love. And so it's for me, it's kind of a reevaluation in each and every moment. Am I loving what I'm doing? Am I doing what I love? Are you getting another call?
Of course.
Isn't that amazing how that happens? It's like the phone never rings until you're doing something that you can't
Well,
answer.
And when you have someone who doesn't have the same kind of memory capacity as some people, you tell them something and then they go, "Where are you?"
Yes.
Myrna says, I like that I am relearning to take care of my priorities. Yeah, my child, my husband, myself. I have decided to set my phone in silence at certain times and to learn not to hurry up to answer. Yeah. Yeah, that's such a good practice, Myrna. That's such a great practice.
Absolutely.
No kidding.
I was going to share that when you talked about ministry, from my experience over the last couple of years, I can say that I have made it a really clear goal in my life not to take a lot of things on.
Really?
And to open the space for other things to show up, for other people to show up, for there's a whole list of things, that could be really great. And it can't do those all, and so I have to focus where I love. And one of the places I love is really encouraging other people to step up and to do stuff and to be a part
Yes. Empowering other people, it's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good thing.
Yeah. No, that's true. You do that. You do that.
You do that voodoo that you do.
The voodoo that you do. All right. I'm going to share a quote with you from Billy Joel, who says, "If you are not doing what you love, you are wasting your time."
Okay, Billy.
And people are finding that time is the only commodity we can never get back, right? We can never. That's it. It's gone. Done. As far as we know.
Yeah, that throws us into a whole different conversation. But yeah, certainly in this realm that we know, it's true. Right?
It's very true. So, yeah. Sorry, my phone is getting hot. I'm getting hot. My phone's getting hot.
Phone.
I know. I'm in the sun. I wasn't in the sun. Now I'm in the sun. But yeah. And sometimes we waste our time, right? Or is it? That's the question. I mean, I can't remember if you two have had other marriages or not, because I know you got married when you were pretty young.
Oh.
So.
Oh yeah, we were mere babes when we got married.
Right.
The first time, and then again the second time. But the third time, I was as old as I was when I married her. So yeah, I've done it.
I know that. Wow, you really lost me.
That's okay. It happens to me all the time.
It usually takes a lot for me to get lost, but
he's had other marriages.
I thought that was true. I'm having this upsurgence of learning from my divorce process and co-parenting. It's very interesting. And when you talk about wasted time, I remember at the end of my marriage, I was so mad. I was like, you wasted the best years of my life, and I had to come around to, well, I didn't have to, but in my spiritual path, I realized it's like, was it really wasted? How can we actually waste time? If we look back upon it and go, oh, looking for where it wasn't a waste of time. It was something that needed to process and happen. Like I was talking about, learning into ministry. I feel it's true that even when we say yes to the path, as soon as we say yes to something, sometimes it's unconscious when we say yes to things. We're on the path, right? And Spirit's bringing all the stuff and the people for that path. Right. So that really the time might look wasted, but maybe we didn't understand where we were growing, changing, and becoming the person that we need to be on that path. So, I mean, I can't even tell you all the crap I went through in my younger life that I was like so mad at God. I was an atheist for, probably up until I found the centers in my, like around 30. Right. Because I was so mad because I thought that this was all against me. And why was I being treated this way? And why did I have to, until I started realizing everything that happens to me is for me. And that includes this time that we think we're wasting. There's something in it that's for us, but it's up to us to open the gift and find it, right? That's the whole thing about our prayer, where do we find in reality what we're searching for? There it goes again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, and can we ever really be wasting time? I mean, if we truly believe that we're always exactly where we're supposed to be,
right?
Then what's the gift there, no matter what it feels like. What is the gift,
Right.
or what is the lesson, or what is the next step, or whatever. And I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of times, all that goes, it goes back into all of our story, whatever our story is that's been, handed down to us, or that we're
Right. What's the story you want to write? What's the story you want to live?
And that's, I think that's something I fight with now is things in relationships that I feel like I've wasted time because they've lingered, because they haven't been resolved, because they haven't been whatever. And a lot of it's because I've been scared, I've been whatever it is to step in and do something with that, And so what's the lesson I need to learn? It's about what is my value, what is mine to do, all those things that I get to learn from that. Thank you very much.
And maybe you weren't ready, and maybe you needed that discomfort. Maybe, like it's that whole thing of like, we only change when here is more uncomfortable than there.
Right.
Or we can, like that whole thing of we can be pushed by pain or pulled by vision. Or if we know that there is for us, and here is like no longer where we fit.
Right.
And so I think the goal is to get back to what we said earlier, which is doing what you love. So in each and every moment, I think that's the question. Are you doing what you love? Can you love what you're doing? And, where you're coming from, right? So as Billy Joel said, if you're not doing what you love, you're wasting your time,
You're
right?
wasting your time. Absolutely.
Right. So I would just say that
I think George has got a permanent call.
she's frozen.
Oh.
So,
So I think it's been a great discussion.
I
Really
do.
good.
Thank you so much, Georgia, for coming on. I'm gonna share this Wayne Dyer quote that says, "Doing what you love is the cornerstone of having abundance in your life." And I think that means an abundance of everything, right?
Yes.
Of health, of wholeness, of love, of prosperity, and not only that, but in the reciprocal part of the giving and receiving, how much you're giving out to others. So I would just encourage you all to really just be with that this weekend and hold on to that and examine when you're doing it, if you're doing what you love, or maybe you're not loving what you're doing, but you're doing it because you love yourself, like going to the gym or whatever. So how can you reframe? How can we reframe our training and our attitudes and our mind to be that space of, I am loving my life, right?
Absolutely.
That's the goal, everybody. Love your life. So do what you love your life, and as always, rock the love out there.
Rock the love.
See you next week.